Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest. I am your host Midnight Sun, and today we'll be starting our adventure into this classic Nintendo title, the remix of. Now, Master Quest has all of the story elements preserved. You know, it has the same plot, has the same characters. You don't need to worry about that, unless you're a real Navi hater. What is different about it, though, are the dungeons. So, we're going to be seeing one of those today, too. But what should we call our hero? I thought long and hard about this, by which I mean I went to a random name generator and mashed it until I found a name I liked. And the name that eventually came out above all others was Harvey. So, after some exposition, we will begin this story. And it begins. This is our sidekick Navi. She's going to be with us throughout the duration of the game, which is going to bug the hell out of some people. Navi is one of the most hated sidekicks in sidekick history, mainly because of, well, what she's doing right here. You know, when you just want to mind your own business. Yep, she starts yelling at you. Now, even though we don't... I obviously would not really need to. I am going to listen to what Navi has to say in every new area, just because it's a helpful little hint. Like, if you're lost, listen to Navi if it's your first playthrough, because, you know, she's going to give you something nice to work with. And we finally woke up, which means she can stop yelling at us. And she's telling us that the Deku tree has not only assigned us to be with her, but we need to get going to him, because he has summoned us to his presence. That's pretty cool, I guess. Right? I mean, I guess. Well, we're going to get a bit more of a reaction from that, on that topic from other people. Like this one right here. This is just another one of your average, run-of-the-mill Kokiri. Nothing really special about her here or at any other point in time. Saria. Saria is Harvey's best friend, so let's see what she has to say to us. I guess she came running because she saw a blue ball of annoyance flying through our window, and she wanted to make sure we were okay. She's pretty happy that we walked out, and she's also pretty happy we have our fairy. I don't think we can really share in that joy because of how annoying Navi is. At least Saria's fairy isn't bugging her all the time, as far as we know. But, you know, the whole going to see the Great Deku Tree thing happens to be a great honor, as she said. So, let's get going. Before we do that, though, I'm going to grab a couple of rupees, just preemptively, because we're going to need them in a few minutes. There's one, right by the really creepy girl, and another on these rocks. By the way, these rocks, that is an infinite 5 rupee spawn point. Every time that you leave, this is the first thing she says, by the way, and she'll always say this until you go see the Great Deku Tree. But, what was it just saying, right? Every time that you leave Kokiri Forest proper and then enter it again, you can jump over those rocks and get 5 more rupees. And this is, this guy's kind of a dick. He's calling us Mr. No Fairy. I guess not having a fairy is a serious stigma in Kokiri society. However, we now do have a fairy, so take that. This guy is the Great Mido. That's what he's going to call himself in a second here. There we go. Now, that might not be an entirely ego-driven statement. If you walk around and you talk to some of the other Kokiri, you'll see that they're actually doing things for him around town, things that he told them to do. Like he's telling us right now to go get a sword and shield. You know, he doesn't personally do it himself, but he's asking us to go do it. He clearly thinks of himself as being important, and he might actually be important. You know, those people are doing things for him around town. So, just because we don't want to get this on this guy's bad side, and we want him to stop pelvis thrusting his way into our path, great, that. I hate getting railroaded into conversations during games. Unfortunately, that's going to happen a few times in this particular video, but let's see what we got. We got us a Deku Shield. It costs us... no, that's a stick. Okay, that's a nut. Okay, thank you, Harvey. Just calm down. Okay, the Deku Shield is 40 rupees. Now, that might sound like a lot for a small town, but... as you're going to notice, Kokiri Forest has quite a few rupees hanging around. Like, I left the forest proper, so once again, 5 rupees there. But there are also 5 rupees chilling out in the back. There are 5 rupees chilling out inside of rocks and signs. I mean, if they're trying to keep a capitalist system going with their store, the inflation's going to kind of kill it. It's really going to kill the value of the rupee. It's going down in contrast with the price of the... I have no clue. There's no other currency in this world, so... Alright, anyway, 5 more rupees from backflipping out of that rock. But we can see that getting a shield isn't going to be quite so difficult. We're only 10 rupees away from our goal. You know, it's pretty easy also. A Deku Shield's basically just a piece of bark that's had a symbol stamped on it. So, infinite shields we can buy. And, whoa, okay, Harvey, there we go, okay. Don't get crushed by the giant honeycomb. But there are no swords. We did not see any swords on Harvey's walls. If we go into any of the other buildings, we won't see any swords there, so... well, what are we supposed to do? But Mido said we need to find a sword, so clearly there must be some sword around here somewhere. Now, here it is. The Kokiri sword. Now, I don't know, maybe he knew where it was. Maybe Mido's actually the one that hid it over here. You know, he thought that even if somebody was curious enough to walk through that hole, they would run away from the giant honeycomb boulder, for fear of being hit by it and then being attacked by bees. Although there aren't actually any bee enemies in this game. There are in Majora's Mask, the sequel to Ocarina of Time, but there are none in this game proper. We got another rupee out of this bush here. By the way, speaking of infinite spawning, those little kind of like onion grass things, if you hit them, every single time that you hit them, a new rupee, a new item will pop out of it. They are another one of those infinite spawning things, just in case you need to grab some hearts, so like 1 rupee pieces, stuff. By the way, rupees and signs, right? Right. This place is so odd. Jeez. But now that we have 48 rupees, we are able to go and get the shield. Then we can stick it to Mido. Tell him to get his midsection out of our way. Thankfully, she doesn't try and talk to us again. And, hello, little man. I'd like to buy one of your fine shields. The Deku Shield actually happens to be my favorite shield in the game. It's simple, it's useful, but unfortunately it's also very breakable. You know, it's your kind of basic level 1 shield, which means that even though it is cool and useful and easy to get, it is also, you know, we're going to be able to lose it pretty easily. It's my least favorite enemy. But now we got our sword and shield, so let's see what this douchebag thinks of that. Huh? If you want to pass through here, we should have at least equip a sword and shield. Well, I got it, don't I? Oh, whoopsies. I have to equip the sword and shield. The game forces you into learning how to equip it. But of course, it's not like I forgot, right? I just wanted to demo what he says. Anyway, now that we have our sword and shield equipped, he can't really deny us passage into the Deku Tree's grove anymore. He's surprised that we have the Kokiri sword. Maybe he was the one that hit it. Sneaky little bastard. Anyway, now that he will get his pelvis out of the way, we can continue on to the Great Deku Tree. And he's pretty exasperated that the person he was calling Mr. No Fairy until just 5 minutes ago is now able to best him in terms of the popularity department. We're going to encounter our first enemy to use our sword on right here. These are Deku Babas. Whenever any of them are standing straight up and you kill them, they'll give you a Deku Stick. Deku Sticks are weak offensively, but they're pretty good for puzzles. And if you're fast, you'll only ever need to use one. Just a really embarrassing story. The first time I died in this game was to those 3 Deku Babas. And here we are at the Deku Tree. Chilling out. Alright. So Navi has returned, and... Hi, Great Deku Tree, how's it going? Been a while, huh? Alright. Actually, last night's wasn't so bad. I mean, there were a couple of chicks on a horse running away, but, you know, they didn't really seem too bad. There was even a guy who came out after them and waved hi to me. A little bit, you know, intimidating, but, you know, cool guys are sometimes intimidating. But the fact that we had a dream like that seems to mean that we're special, and now he wants us to break a curse that has been put on him, because we're special and full of courage. But he's kind of creepy. He surrounds himself with a village of 15 children, kind of like the L. Ron Hubbard of the forest, so I don't think I really want to do that. No. I don't have the courage to help a creepy guy like you. But then he kind of pokes us in our side a bit with his words here. He's like, oh yeah, so you're not good enough. Go ahead, go back to the training ground over there and backflip from some rocks, slash some signs apart. You're not good enough. And I don't really appreciate that. So let's go over here and target his pelvis. Wow, this area is just a cornucopia of pelvises. Yes, you have been cursed. Yeah, okay, I do have it this time, alright? Thank you. Now he unzips his fly, or opens his mouth, I mean. Totally just opening his mouth. Letting us in. I sure will. I'll be sure to do that, Great Deku Tree. Let me inside you. Alright, now this is where Master Quest really picks up. This is where it becomes Master Quest and not just Ocarina of Time. Once you get inside of a dungeon. And the Great Deku Tree was actually, for me, in this game, the hardest one, because I had to get used to the fact that things are different. After playing a game for so many years, you get used to the same things over and over again. And right there, actually, we saw something that was different. The web has always been there, if you haven't played this game before, but that brazier, that golden brazier, nope, that wasn't there before. In fact, the golden brazier is kind of out of place, and okay. By the way, you know how I mentioned those enemies that can kill your shield pretty easily? Those are Keese, and they're the ones who will do it. And right over there is a Goma egg. If you hit it quickly with something, it'll die. But if you don't hit it quickly, that happens. A Goma larva railroaded into conversation with Navi. That's the highlight of this video reel, it seems. Sorry. Dry throat. And the Goma larva drops down. We hear something else, though. We're not getting the enemy music. What could it possibly be? It is a gold Skulltula. One of the 3 kinds of Skulltulas. And also the only type that will not respawn infinitely. The reason being because there are only 100 of them in existence. We are going to be collecting all of them during the course of this LP, as well as all 36 heart containers. They'll probably be in a separate video if they're not directly in my path. The Skulltula is more than the heart pieces. But alongside the Skulltula, we also grab ourselves a dungeon map. The dungeon map, if you look on it, will reveal to people who have played the original Ocarina of Time that something is very much the same about these dungeons. They still have the same infrastructure. They have the same general layout. It's just things you can interact with that are different. Like, keys. Fucking hate keys. Now we need to get through that door, but that brazier isn't... Oh! Lit. Okay, that was quick. And this is the second kind of Deku Baba, by the way. There's the kind that only sticks straight up, but then there's this kind, and if you kill them when they're still, like, hunched over like that, you can get yourself the second kind of item they give, the Deku Nut, which is one of my favorite items in the game, and also the one that is the most useful for the longest amount of time. So let's just assign it to our bottom C button there and head through this door. Navi. Yes. Now, some of the things that she tells you are pretty self-explanatory like that. And in here, we have ourselves a generic kill room, so I'm just going to speed this up. Don't really need to light that on fire, but we do. Now let's kill us some Gomegs. Or some Goma larvae, I should say. Not really able to kill any of the eggs. I would be able to kill more of the eggs if I had something that could hit them from afar, but I don't really have anything like that, as of yet. By the way, if you did go and check out that chest up there, it only has 5 rupees in it. If a chest only has 5 rupees, that usually means that there's something in it that you cannot use at the moment. Either because you don't have the appropriate item to, you know, utilize it, like, let's say a bag that carries seeds or something. If it had seeds in it, you wouldn't have gotten seeds. You would have just gotten 5 rupees. But if you did have the bag, you would have gotten the seeds. But what could be in here? This is obviously an important item. It's a slingshot. The fairy slingshot. Now, this is the child's version of a long-range weapon. We can use it to... What can we use it for? We can use it to hit keys from afar. We can shoot keys out of the sky, kill them as they launch towards us, and... I can't really think of anything else right now. I start thinking about keys and how much I hate them. I hate them! Sorry, where are we? Deku Tree. Top floor. Slingshot. Right, slingshot. Okay, we just got the slingshot, and now we will be able to do more stuff. By the way, watch out for that Keese. Kill him quickly with the slingshot. Because Keese do not die when they hit fire. Obviously, if you have a projectile inside that fire, somehow, I don't know how you would do that. But if you have a if you hit them with a projectile before they can reach the fire, then they... Oh, yeah, by the way, you can clip through webs, but... Okay, what was I saying? I was rambling a bit about... Right! If you get hit by a Keese that's on fire, they will kill your shield. And they light on fire by diving into braziers. They will not die when they hit that fire. They will just become stronger. Come on, there we go. All right. It's real nice when I see him kill somebody. But I mentioned about Deku Sticks that if you're really fast, you'll only ever need one. That's because, well, like we're about to see here, if you swing your sword or, you know, wait for the put away button to appear on your action. Alright, this is, by the way, for those of you who don't know, that's not, some kind of weird Master Quest type Deku Baba that only appears in this game. That is actually a regular kind of Deku Baba that we would have seen later on. We usually would not see him this early. But it's Master Quest, so things are different. And actually, if you have to face them as a child, those Babas, the great Deku Babas, are actually pretty annoying. There's a reason why that we'll see a little bit later on. By the way, this room here, don't jump across the platform, otherwise you'll run into that Skulltula right there. That's the second kind of Skulltula. That is the big Skulltula. The big Skulltula has an armored front and a very soft belly. It makes the stupid mistake of turning around every once in a while to expose its belly to you. Speaking of exposing, here's the compass. The compass can expose hidden treasure chests to us, if we didn't see them before. It also shows us where we entered the room and where we are currently standing and facing inside any room. Let's grab us some more nuts. Even though important items you can't skip through the description of, if you're getting a refill for something, the first time you get the refill, it'll show you what the refill is for, just so you know when it's on the ground. And no, Harvey, that's concussive. You don't want to do that. Now, prepare for hell. Oh, I hate that so much. 7 times she does it. Here's the 7th right here. So, now we see why we have that brazier. It's because if we want to not have to jump from the top, we don't have to. We can just light our stick on fire, and if we have a web beneath us, we swing it, and it'll light on fire. And burn right through it. A couple of Deku Babas up here. We'll dispatch them rather quickly. Well, one of them rather quickly anyway. The one that was in our way. And a brazier. Now, your first instinct might be, oh, we have to use that brazier to light a Deku stick on fire to burn down those webs. You would be wrong. That is not what it is for. You can do that, and there is indeed something in there, but you don't need what's in there. You don't need it. Actually, what is in there? It's been a long time since I was in there myself. It's a button, and that button will release a treasure chest, and that treasure chest only has something like 5 rupees or a heart in it. It's not all that important to do that. Anyway, kill room. You know what that means. Let's speed this up. Alright, this is actually a new kind of enemy we're seeing right here. This is a Deku Scrub. There are 3 kinds of scrubs. Alright, dispatch the Goma eggs with our slingshot. But yes, 3 kinds of scrubs. The door behind us opens up, by the way. Not the one in front of us, the one behind us. There's a reason for that. But that was the first kind of Deku Scrub, like I keep on coming back to. The orange one, it's always offensive. You have to kill it in order to get rid of it. Let's see, there's the reason why we had that door and the brazier. As long as you don't need to use your hands to open up a door, you can bring something through it in your hands. We've seen the other kinds of Deku Scrubs in here, by the way. All 3 of them are present. Just as all 3 kinds of Skulltulas are present. The third kind isn't really... We don't really need to face the third kind of this one. It's only actually here in one place in Master Quest. And it's a Skullwaltula. We will see them later, but we didn't need to see them here. By the way, I jumped the gun in this puzzle. You kind of have to time it right, otherwise that happens. You'll lose your Deku stick. Damn it. Speed this up a little bit just because it's time-consuming. Heart in the container. Probably would have only been 5 rupees had we had a full set of hearts. But yeah, if you time that properly, if you light your stick on fire just as it is arriving at your side of that little pond, then you'll be able to light those braziers there on fire really easily. Let's kill us a big Skulltula. Like I said, the front part of it is armored, so we must hit it in the back. You kind of need to edge up against the wall. And one last time, a kill room. You'll notice that I use this little trick here, that if you bounce a Deku Scrub's nuts onto a different opponent, it will kill that opponent, or at least hurt them. And also, if you're going to shoot Goma eggs off of the walls, don't aim at the egg itself, aim a little bit above the egg, because that's where the actual hitbox is. Door opens, and, okay, grab a few items. Go ahead, Harvey. You deserve it. And, oh yes. Oh yes. Do you see what I see? I see 4 keys. There we go. 3 and 4. Okay, good. This actually is one of the more dangerous rooms with the keys if you like the Deku Shield, like I do. Because there are 4 braziers that they can try and dive into to light on fire. And that's bad. You'll also notice that there are 2 ways out of this room, however, only one of them is really available to us right now. Sure, we can burn down the other web, but we don't have the correct items to even get further beyond that. So we'll go through here. And we are met with another giant Deku Baba. And this is the part where that I talked about, where you can see why it's dangerous. And, okay. That's the last time, by the way. Don't worry, it's the last time that Navi needs to talk to us. It wouldn't be as annoying if we could just skip through it. Or if it didn't give it to us at all because it's Master Quest and it kind of assumes that we've already played the game. But that's the last one, so... Also, last kind of scrub, and that's the danger. They're so big that as a kid, they are able to dive over your shield and hurt you. However, there is one advantage to being a kid against them. We're about to see that. If you get in really close, I tried to stun him. I was too close, though. Or I should say he was already stunned in a way, so you can't double stun him. But if you're really close to them as a kid, they are too big. They can't hit you. You're too small a target. And I take him out right here, I do believe. There we go. And the second kind of Deku Scrub right here. This is a business scrub. Business scrubs do exactly what you might think they do. They do business. However, except for 3 of them, they're only ever selling things that you can buy elsewhere, or more preferably find in bushes in the wild. But they're always selling them at a price 10 rupees higher than at any store. So you should only ever use them if you're desperate for some kind for the item that they're selling. Like, even if you've never seen it before, there are only 3 things that they actually are selling that you'll never be able to find elsewhere. Whoopsies. Did not mean to do that. Let's take care of this Baba really quickly. Get out of the way. Because we need to go fast with this Deku Stick in order to solve this puzzle. To climb up here, you might have noticed one more of those under the foot kind of... There we go. Kind of webs. And people who play the former Zelda game, the Ocarina of Time, will remember this room. Remember 231? 23 is number 1? Well, that's not going to work here. You have to... This is the third kind of Deku Scrub, the green one, the puzzle scrub I like to call them. They will give you a hint for something, or you have to do something specific with them. This is also the only time in the game you actually see them, so there you go. Now, formerly in that one room where there were where we had to bring the Deku Stick into it from that last room we were in just above us, there would have been another one that gave us a code to tell us which order we had to defeat these guys in. But it's not present in Master Quest. You have to figure it out yourself. Fortunately, they don't do it in a strict linear, like 1, 2, 3 order from left to right. So, you know, it provides a small challenge if you're trying to be really tricky about how you're killing them, which order you're killing them in. But that is that's all of that. They gave us a tip that we need to strike Queen Goma when she is weakest, when she is stunned. But how are we supposed to know when she's available to be stunned, really? I mean, gosh, we'd have to have some kind of insider information to the enemy's plot. By the way, you may have noticed that we're in the Deku Tree's underparts right now, and he's got an infection, a crawling, itching infection in his underparts. Maybe I should have named Link Shampoo. That would have been appropriate instead of Harvey. But Harvey is a better name anyway. It was given to us by the random name generator. Dark and mysterious room, but above us is... Is that a living weak spot? I do believe it is. But how are we supposed to know when to hit that weak spot? That is the question. This is the parasitic armored arachnid Goma. It is also a very easy boss. Now, it's one of the parasitic monsters. Deku Tree, it's... Navi? I have a question. Were you listening in when I mentioned we need to have some insider information? I think we're going to need to talk after this, but for now, let's study this opponent and see what else we can find out besides the strange amount of information that Navi already knows. Now, yes, when its eye turns red, we need to hit it, and then we just strike it with our sword. Now, what happens though if we... Okay, sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit there. You can hit her either with a Deku Nuts if she's on the ground, or you can hit her with the Slingshot if she's on the ground or if she's on the ceiling. You'll notice that I hit her on the ceiling there with the Deku, the fairy Slingshot when her eye turned red, like that. But what if you don't hit her? What happens then? Well, this happens. She starts to lay some eggs right in front of you, and that is not very ladylike. That is not very ladylike at all. Let's dispose of these. Fortunately, she puts them in a nice little neat area, so unless you're really slow, you don't need to worry about fighting them both at the same time. Not that she's much of a challenge, after all. 1, 2, done. And she releases a stream of bubbles, just like her children. And just like that, we have solved the Deku Tree's itching problems down below. I don't want to think about it anymore. It's kind of creeping me out. Anyway, for defeating the giant spider thing, crab-like spider thing, you might say, we are given a heart container. A full heart container. As opposed to a piece of heart which only gives us 1/4 of a heart container, this one gives us an entire one. It also refills our energy because, you know, we actually need to have our health filled after finishing up a dungeon. But never mind that. We need to go tell the Great Deku Tree that we saved him. Maybe demand some money, compensation, maybe put in a good word with Saria. Tell Mido to stop being such a dick to everybody. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. One of the consistent things in the Zelda universe is that your main character never talks. Only other people. Thou hast verily demonstrated thy courage. Thank you. Yeah, I know, I'm pretty good at that. Oh, I don't know, man. You're kind of boring. You're like Navi, except not annoying, just tedious. Alright, if it's your final wish, or something. Or if you have an appointment somewhere, if your time is short, then I guess I'll, you know, listen in. But this entire part here is really exposition, so I'm going to go ahead and let the Deku Tree take over this. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to go and do something with my free time. There's a lot of it. Okay, I'm back. Did I miss anything? Sorry, I went to get a Milano. Things are delicious. So apparently that guy in our nightmare, our dream, who was just waving hi to us, maybe he wasn't waving hi to us. Maybe he was telling us to fuck off. That makes me sad. He seemed like a cool guy. We might have to, file a formal complaint against him. Send him a mean letter. After all, it seems as though the curse he cast, even though we killed the arachnid thing inside of the Great Deku Tree's, well, his underbelly, now that we've killed that thing, it's still not going to help him. He's going to die. Fortunately, it has given us the courage and the skills that we were going to need on our adventure. And now we're being tasked to bring some kind of gigantic rock, I guess. Whoa, no. Oh man, look at that thing, man. Look how shiny that thing is, man. That thing is seriously shiny. That thing, sorry. There are two things that can derail my mind. Keys and really shiny things. And the GameCube version makes these things really shiny. Anyways, this is the Kokiri's Emerald. It is the first of 3 spiritual stones that we need to collect. And we are being told that the future depends upon us. I'm not quite sure if that's a good thing. After all, we're kind of a dick too. Wait a minute, he entreats Navi. Navi? Why Navi? Why not us? We're the important ones. What one's this? Maybe. Nah, can't be. Maybe I'll tell you guys later, but... Wait. What? Oh, he's dead. He's actually dead. The great defender of the forest died. Jeez, that guy must be really powerful. Well, time to go to Hyrule Castle anyway. Bye, Deku Tree. Nice knowing you. Alright, so let's do a little bit of wrap-up here. What did we do? What did we do with our time today? Well, we got a fairy, unfortunately. We stuck it to the man, aka Mido, that dick. And then we shampooed the Great Deku Tree's infestation away. So, now, next time on Let's Play Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest, Link leaves the forest. Oh dear. I'll see you all then. Till then, I'll talk to you in the thread. Bye-bye.